Okay, so what we'll do here is we're going to generate a put request. What I've already got in here is I've got a helper method that I've created, which is just going to go off and get me the first trading account feed from the list. Sorry, trading account feed entry from the list. This is just so I can go off and get something that I'm going to update. So I'm just going to get the first one, and I'm going to change its name and save that back to accounts. So the get request there is exactly the same code as we saw in the earlier video when making get request. The only slight difference I'm getting I'm just returning the first one in the list, and I'm going to make use of that. So all I'll do here is I'll create a new instance of a trading account feed entry. We'll call it account, and we'll just assign it the results of the get account helper method. So this is just getting me the trading account. So we'll now just output to the console, because we're dealing with a console application here. We'll just say we'll just output what the current account name is. New name, and we'll get the name from the account that we went off and retrieved earlier, and then we'll just set the name property, and we'll just do a read line. So all we've done there is set the name property to whatever we'll enter at the command line. The account name will have that value in it then, but that's still just held in memory at this point. What we need to do is actually send that account through to the SData feeds to have it saved for us. So the way that we do that is very similar to get requests. So we need an SData request, and again I'm going to call that request, a new request. Now previously we used the SData URI to build us a URI. Here we don't need to do that, because the URI is exposed as a property of the trading account for us. Everything which inherits from feed entry has this property. So all we need to do is just say the new URI, and we can get the account.uri, which is a string. So we're just converting that to a URI, but that gives us exactly the same thing as we had in a get request. Now, what is different from a get request is the fact that we're trying to update here. We need to send information for it to be persisted. We need the new account name sent across for that to be saved. So what we need to do is give it a second parameter here, which is the instance of the feed entry that we want to save. And finally, we'll give it the request verb of type put. So put being an update. When you don't specify the request verb, it's get by default, and that's what we had previously when we did the get request. Here we are saying that we want to put it. But other than that, it's the same as the get request. We'll just say request dot username equals manager. We're just hard coding it. Of course, we wouldn't do this in a real application. Empty string, and then we'll just do request dot send. So that will actually submit the request, and that will persist it. So again, we'll just do a very simple test and seeing if the statements are valid for the verb. And in this case, we'll just output a message to the console. Output a message to the console. Update success. Oh. update failed. So that's all there is to it, really. We've gone off and got the update, the trading account. We've made a change to it, and we've submitted it back to be saved. So I'll just run this now. So it'll go off and hit the trading account's feed, and it'll return the first record in that. In this case, it's Concept Stationery Supplies. That's the name of the first supplier, as it happens, in the Stage 50 accounts demo data. So just before I actually make any changes here, if I just quickly go across to accounts 2012 here, just to show you, you can see here the very first one in the list is Concept Stationery Supplies, and that's the record that we've found. So pop back to the command line, and we'll just give it the new name. So it's waiting for us to provide this, so we'll just say that concept has changed. So that'll have gone off and updated the row back to the feed. So if I just force a refresh here in accounts, we can see there's our change. It has actually been saved for us, and that's all there is to it. Just a handful of lines of code. Everything here that you've seen will work on any other resource kind. It's literally, the difference is with the trading account feed entry. That would just be invoice feed entry, a sales invoice feed entry. It could be a purchase order feed entry, so on and so forth. There's anything which is supported by the adapter. All of those types were generated as boilerplate code. We didn't have to worry about it, and we just had to write a handful of lines of code to do our particular requested operation. It's all very similar code that as you'll have seen if you followed through the examples.